If you're watching this video right now, you are not special. And that's okay. The chosen one, the special one, the messiah. We're always pushing some sort of narrative or label, whether it's sports, movies, films, or even in person, of someone just standing out amongst the rest. Someone naturally born with a gift that no other person could ever imitate, making it seem like it's some sort of God-given right that they're even able to do what they do. But what about us? The average Joe who doesn't have the special gift but wants more than what's around them. What if I don't want to be like the bum ass niggas I see in my day to day? And this talk about being special just leads to a downward spiral of me just thinking, am I even good enough for what I want to do? Truth is, not every person is special. And me personally, I think that's a good thing. As a kid, I always believed there was something more there for me. And it's no surprise when you take a look at what I grew up with and consumed for that to even be the case. Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Marvel, DC, even Power Rangers. All of them having shows and movies that create a world of kids and teenagers similar to my age at the time, being either cool as hell, interesting to watch, and more importantly, and what I'm going to be focusing on in today's video, the one chosen to solve the problem of whatever the story is for that show or movie. And of course, consuming something like that will eventually get to your head that maybe you could be special in a certain type of way. I remember as a kid telling myself, I want to be a Power Ranger. Who didn't want to be a Power Ranger? So I'm here practicing doing flips, tricks, making origami weapons, me and my siblings creating Megazords trying to destroy the villain, and me truly believing that I will be the special one. When that time finally comes, I will be the one to be the power. Dream died quick. Tried challenging my older cousin to a fight, he whooped my ass. But to be honest though, it was a good taster for what I was going to experience growing up. When I first started making YouTube videos, I was probably around 13 years old, and I was personally inspired by the likes of KSI, Deji, H2O Delirious, Rice Gum, Logan Paul. So much so, I even tried emulating their personality types. So when I first made my channel, I had different types of videos that I was trying out, and that effort just led to people finding my channel in school, which I didn't really care about, to be honest. But where I started having a little bit of an issue was when people started plastering my thumbnails all around the school, and also people making fun of my weight at the time in the comment sections, which I would say, being a 13-year-old, made me a lot more self-conscious about myself. And I started looking into my videos and thinking maybe I don't have the look or the aura that it takes to actually make YouTube videos, which somewhat came at a time where I was actually watching commentary channels who weren't really showing their face, and I thought, let me go faceless. And I do kind of feel like it sucks that that was my mentality at the time, because I generally feel like I had a lot of creative ideas at the time that really could have done well. Like I mentioned in my previous video, which you should watch, I've always been wishy-washy about my creativity. I love art, I love animation, I like filmmaking, so I thought YouTube could be the perfect place for me to mix everything all together. But clearly in my eyes at the time, it just wasn't, which led to me thinking, let me just dial back on the creativity. I love my art, let me stick to the art, so I chose to do architecture. And I was generally happy with that decision. I picked art for my GCSEs, I was naturally good at physics in school, and 14-year-old me at the time was thinking for the first time, I have a clear direction for what it is that I want to do in life. Just for me to get the typical talk you get from your black dad. This is a talk that every black child will understand, where it's more about talking about how the world is a cruel place and sometimes you're gonna have to work twice as hard just because you're black. And the conversation, honestly, to me at the time, it did make sense, but the route that my dad went about, I personally don't think was the best, to be honest. Instead of going the normal route of saying that I had to work twice as hard, I was told, instead of doing architecture, try and find something easier where you can still fit in, still make decent amount of money, and have a successful career. Which, you know, African parents is always be a lawyer, be a doctor, which is just as hard as being an architecture. What does this old man know? Yeah, I can't add that part in, flipping it. But hearing that at the time felt like a dagger to the heart. And the reason why I say that is because I filtered myself quite a lot to get to that decision. I put myself in a box and was a shell of myself. I couldn't be a Power Ranger. Had to double check that one, but okay, fair enough. It's not easy to become an animator or a filmmaker. Okay, fine, let me limit the creativity. Okay, I'm gonna be an architecture, let me try and pursue this. You can't pursue architecture because you weren't positioned to get to that. What the hell am I supposed to do then? How am I supposed to progress in this world when I'm being told by people with more experience than me that I can't get to where I need to get to because you weren't put in the right place for it? And generally, I just felt less and less like myself. And I was thinking, is there even any point of me even trying to get to where I want to get to? Come on man, I'm a stubborn guy. You know I had to stay pushing, so I continued pursuing. And for me to actually get to a position where I believed in myself again, I had to go back to where it started from. And that was from consuming media. I feel like the shows, movies, and media that we consume in general play so much of a vital role to our lives, a lot more than we like to admit. We can have a show with so many different characters with different character traits, personalities, and morals that relate or inspire one person compared to another. Which is why we can have someone who says they choose Goku over Vegeta, Ronaldo over Messi, Billy Butcher over the Deep. Trust me, this one's believable. This is somebody's goal. And for the sake of this video, a character who's not really seen as special, but had to grind to get to where they are in the plot. First person I think of, Rock Lee. Probably one of my favorite characters from the OG Naruto series. Yeah, I know we got Naruto, we got Ninetales, Sasuke, but for me personally, I just rated Rock Lee a lot more because I rated the way he came up. Imagine living in a world full of ninjas, but instead of doing the normal ninjutsu, where you're thinking of the stealth, the fighting, the ninja stars, you're living in a world where niggas have magical ninja powers. Some of them are creating clones of themselves, some have stupid vision, and some have powers beyond your belief. And you being one of the only people who can't do that, and still being a bad man. You know you're not as hard as them, so you have to grind twice as hard to put yourself in rooms where you have no business even being in. My favourite moments from Rock Lee are probably the two that everyone knows about. Obviously the first one will be when he little bro Sasuke in his introduction. Stay humble, eh? And of course the fight against Gaara where they all laughed at him for looking really goofy and thinking you can't be a demon child like him. Just for him to put fear into everybody in the room when he dropped them weights. Then getting into it with Gaara and actually landing a hit on him. Of course we know how it ended with him being in the hospital. Don't you think it's low-key aura the fact that Gaara went to the hospital and thought, how dare this nigga get a hit on me? I must kill him while he's unconscious. That's a bad man, bro. We don't make niggas like these no more. Huey from The Boys is another person who had no business being where he was. Just putting this out here, by the way, I haven't finished season 5, so I don't know what happens towards the end. No spoilers, please. But regardless, I think it's pretty cool that he's got up to season 5 and he hasn't even died yet. A world full of superheroes meant to protect and serve, where one of the superheroes literally just runs through your girl and you just got her hands in your hand. And to make matters worse, you're seen as a little bitch. Your dad thinks you're a bitch. The 7 think you're a bitch. The whole world thinks you're a bitch. They're telling you, just let it slide. Take the money from the 7 and go about your day. Like you literally didn't just see your girl just get ran through. Literally. And Huey feeling the way he does finally gets his opportunity when Billy confronts him, leading to them creating the group, causing the shenanigans, and just gradually seeing his progression to how he just doesn't give a fuck about killing these niggas, fuck the superheroes, and Translucent being his first kill, leading him to become the person he is, up to the point where I watched, of course. Like, how is he here? And how has he not died yet? What is going on? And if I'm bringing it back to reality, another person I would like to talk about is my Starman Saka. Because honestly, I do feel like he's the best depiction when it comes to being looked over but still being one of the best. We obviously have the debates of whether he's world class or not. I'm not going to get into that. Always being told there's more they need from him, lacking the thing that makes him top notch, which seems to be the story of his life. He of course came up in the academy as a young boy, but was never really seen as a top person. Even Thierry Henry praising him for the fact that he even came up to where he is, considering people like Reece Nelson were looked over. Just for him to believe in himself, work hard, actually get to a position where he is beating everybody else and get his debut at 17 years old. Starts off at left back, switches to right wing, becomes a beacon of hope for Arsenal fans, then wins the league after 22 years. And when you take a look at all 3 characters I've mentioned, I could take a little bit from the stories knowing that I'm not necessarily known as someone who has the gift. What I need to do to push and break expectations for what people have for me is just have one thing: goddamn audacity. For those who have been here before my 3 to 4 year hiatus, you probably know me for making videos based on nostalgia on movies, reviews, or even games. But where I truly found my strength in making videos and where I started was making commentary videos, which I thought was cool at the time. I started joining certain communities within it, and I was also inspired by the likes of Memeless and Pyrocynical, which I thought was cool at the time, but I knew I didn't want to be known for making videos like that, which is when I switched to making the movie reviews. Started making it nostalgia based, and then when I made that Numberjacks video, I realized that making video essays just come very easy to me. And that was during lockdown era. 2021 comes up. I started making better, higher quality videos, better thumbnails, slowly growing my channel from having about 500 subs to 1.4k. Having people literally either in my Discord server or in DMs telling me that I'm one of their favorite YouTubers. And at the time, I was thinking that was kind of crazy. I didn't think I had the sub count for people to even consider me as one of their favorites. But unfortunately, while making the videos and having all this love, I still had the doubt that I wasn't special enough to be doing this. Even little things like me still being scared to show my face made me realize that I don't think I have what it takes. And unfortunately, that's what led to me taking the 3 to 4 year hiatus. But as well as what I mentioned in the previous video before, I had the lack of confidence as well as having that fear of growing up and being a failure. But I knew making content was something I always wanted to do. I personally feel like I need to have the expression and freedom to live life on my own terms and not by what people think I should be doing. I experienced people laughing at me and me hiding my face as a result of that. I've been told I haven't been positioned correctly to get into certain industries, and me listening to all of this, I had to think to myself, has me listening to these people got me to live the way that I envisioned my life to be? So I generally had to ask myself a very important question: why do do I feel like I have to be special to get to where I want to? The most important thing is that I've taken experiences from allowing people to put me down. From trying to do something different like doing sales, to now making videos again trying to put my all in. This video isn't about me wanting to feel special and getting sympathy points for people being dickheads. That's just how life is. It's more of a video to myself to let me know that I know my stubbornness is going to get me to where I want to get to, and I don't need a cosign for people to understand that. Like, if I could speak to my little self who wanted to be a Power Ranger, I would have told him straight, give up on that kiddo. But for the others who wanted to do animation, filmmaking, create YouTube videos, even do architecture, I would have told them these are all experiences to move the needle forward, to understand that it's okay to not have a gift. We don't always have to wait for something to call upon us to do what we want. We just need the action to keep moving forward in whatever it is we need to do to get successful. And that's why I'm going to wrap it up today, guys. If you have any other talking points you want me to talk about, put it in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. You can go now. Bye.